Recorded November 6, 2025. Good afternoon, Franklin. Good afternoon, Rodney. How are you guys doing?
Frank, you can start. I think.
I'm doing good. Doing good.
All right.
Back in town now, so I'm back on camera.
You're
Back in
Still
town.
moving the studio around, so I have this green screen behind me, which is annoying me. But hey,
You sure that's a green screen thing that looks like we were talking earlier? It looks like a bar. Looks like
But you notice a green halo around my head there?
I thought that was your divinity.
Okay.
I thought it was gamma radiation poisoning.
So I'm back and recovering from being embarrassed by the 80-year-olds golfing so multiple times from Florida last 2 weeks ago or whatever it was.
I didn't hear him yell 4.
Yeah.
I mean, with inflation, people don't yell 4 anymore. They yell 5. Just say,
yeah. Yell 5. That's a
Vegas,
good one.
every single time I lost a ball, they had to announce it to the entire golf course. Number 17. Number 18. Yeah, thanks a lot, guys.
Wow. Well, it's good. You and your dad were out golfing, man. That's a good thing. One of these days you have to invite me down. I can come down and golf with Dad. I'm not as good as Brody because he does seem like he golfs every weekend. But yeah, I can embarrass myself with the best of them. Frank, what did you break this week?
I'm trying to figure out where this week went. I've been doing so many different things. So I've got nothing for you this week. I am looking forward to our guest tonight.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll make sure we get to it. Rod tagline is alien invader. Does that mean you're out invading aliens or are you an alien that invades?
It's whatever you want to make it. I don't care. I don't care.
Hurling towards us right now, right?
Yeah. Oh, how do you pronounce the name of that thing that just went around the sun and now it's
3i Atlas.
Okay.
So.
What?
Haven't you heard about that? There's this entity in our universe or in our area that looks like it's an alien craft.
That's one of Franklin's lost golf balls.
Probably what it was.
Trust me.
I'm so horrible at golf. In college, here's a good story. In college, I took golf as a class. I also took tennis. Both of those were because there were certain women in those classes, of course. But I was so bad at golf, we would wait till the professor of golf, would turn their back, and we'd literally pick the ball up and just yell 4 and just throw it as hard as we could. And it was better. They never caught on, so they thought, "Man, that's right there in the green."
I'll do that same thing to this day. If you're sitting below the green, you can't see me. 4.
Yeah.
I almost threw the ball in the cup one time doing that. I
think Tiger's done that a few times off camera.
Probably. Yeah, you've probably done that.
Yeah.
So, but other than you reminiscing about your days taking less than desirable electives in college, you know what? I took. It was high school, not in college. So, but what else did you break this week, Rod?
What did I break? I think I broke my sanity. I think I mentioned this a while back, but I'm in a new role here where I work, without mentioning the actual company name. I'm in a new role here and been here about 8 months. And there's a lot of work, a lot of, how should I say it? Just nuance tasks and things that just fill up your day, right? That absolutely have to be done, but boy, I'd like to be doing other things.
Who you telling? Same with me, man. I'm not in a new role, but I said today and literally had to write up an architecture or someone who decided I am just going to dilute the logging going in and Sentinel as much as I can. Well, can I pull it from Log Analytics workspace, run it through VentHub, drop it into a blog storage, and then I think I'm going to try to query it using Cribble, but I may pass it back in and put it over here. I'm like, what are you doing?
Cribble. Oh my goodness. That's something I have not heard for months. Why is that?
I can tell you why.
Yeah.
they're still out there doing the work.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the alliances that they have sort of established was just like, say I'm your boyfriend or girlfriend, but I'm really not. And
Oh yeah.
they were that proverbial, you cooking over a stove and you throw whatever makes the thing flash. It's still a solid product, but we've had them on the show. I have no negative, comments about them, but I think for a while there was a little bit of industry arrogance that people it's not me. This is what I'm hearing because they didn't have any competition. They got competition. So we may try to get the person, this company I'm mentioning right now on the show. There's a new company.
Somebody swiped right, I guess.
Yeah. Well, yes, they did. There's a company out there doing something super very similar called DataBond.
I was going to say Data Lake.
But DataBond. I looked at their stuff and their sales, they're very approachable people. I got a meeting with them coming up, and then I thought that startup issue written. Everybody, they got some big name companies, and I mean just not logos, because I actually sat in front of a customer and asked them whether they're doing their transformations with, and whether they're doing their log segmentation with. They say DataBond. I'm like, that's like the third time I've heard that company. So they're a startup-ish company. All startup companies are friendly. Well, most of them. They whatever you say. But it's interesting. So it is spelled DATA space bond, like the Autobahn. But
I thought James
Data
Bond, but no Bond.
No, not
okay.
not. It would make sense
Bond.
like Data Bond, but it's Data Bond, like highway speed. So it gives you impression that it has some type of European influence.
Well, everybody's a startup until they're acquired. So yeah.
Yeah, I guess. So I guess I asked myself, what have I been breaking? Well, you and I talked, Ron. I've been.
Hold on, you don't have to do that. Hey, Edward, what did you break this week?
Oh, well, since you asked, I probably broke Sentinel Data Lake. Probably did. I've been playing around with that. The MCP server that's geared toward that particular use case, as well as understanding, artificial intelligence all up, and how MCP servers are not, once again, it explains about MCP server. It's not something that Microsoft invented. it's a operational workload, solution. It's an industry solution, right? Yeah. And so playing around with that, and man, trying to get this dumb lab to do what I want. I gotta put this new lab in the region that has support for it. And it keeps trying to default to a lab that doesn't have the data lake support. And I'm trying to get around the limitation of the lab, because it'll only let me deploy Sentinel in certain regions. I know what I want to do, and I think I know how to get around it. It's just not playing nicely. I'm going to dedicate some time, like you and I talked about, just to put myself on focus, do not disturb, to sit down and finish it up. But I was using some of the prompts you gave me, playing around with them. And then I don't even... crazy part about it, I'm not even that type of guy. It's more you and Frank around living in VS Code, but all my interactions with the data lake that Sentinel utilizes, it's all been through VS Code. I've not gone through the Defender port.
That's the fun part. It's like the old days. It's like a hobby where you're digging into building your own computer almost.
I'll tell you one thing. My birthday passed last week.
Birthday.
Yeah, yep. Thanks. Yeah, I think last week. Can't even remember, because I age.
You had one last year too, though.
I did. It keeps happening on the same damn day. Why doesn't it move?
Yeah, I don't know.
Same date. It's like something's wrong here. It's like that 5 o'clock somewhere. The date can be the same, but the day can be different. Birthday Schroeder's cat. There you go. I'll tell you what I've learned, though, and I got to go to Costco and get me a new one, a monitor. When you're working in these IDEs, these terminals, these little screens don't help your cause. You need a big monitor to see. Yeah. And I've been trying to play around with whatever code colors I want, but the thing about it is when you go to that old, the green, like our names are here, as far as the terminal stuff, it doesn't help your eyes. So I'm going to go get me a nice big old developer monitor that can take a video card and then make that monitor into 2 monitors. Really can take 2 different inputs to be able to do it, rather than just trying to move screens around. There's some benefits to it. Gamers do this stuff, right? Because they can, when they're having gamers.
I recommend you suggest into a GPU that will be able to run the local LLM workloads that you're looking at doing. So be very particular about what graphics card you grab.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to, but it seems like between Microsoft, Meta, everybody's buying all the GPUs. I can't get one. Maybe I just have to go rent one from somewhere. Oh, that's what everybody's doing right now. You know what I thought about doing? I thought about replacing one. I don't want to spend the money. Golly. One of the best things about getting older, you get cheaper. I thought about getting one of these Mac Minis. They're not bad. They're not bad at all. There's a lot of them get used, and they're able to run localized large language models or hybrid language models, whatever you want. And they're fairly cheap. The problem with it is they best perform when you. They want you to buy. I went into the Apple store. They have a monitor that's outstanding. You can use other people's monitors, but they got one that's outstanding. I mean, it's got to be 8K.
You pay for it, though.
Yeah, and I ain't got it. I just don't have it. Right, I'm gonna get me a GoFund Ed. We'll see. But yo, been doing that, VS coding a lot, doing that, writing some API stuff. I went and found that thing that you and I talked about, Rod, that Python converter to be able to get your workouts from Peloton and the Garmin.
Yeah,
I hit the guy up. He said, "Oh yeah, I did it. It was easy." You know, he found it for somebody else on.
Did you play with that agent generator? That agent builder I created. Did you play with that yet?
You sent it to me?
I thought I sent it to you. I'll have to. If I didn't, I will. Yeah, it builds the YAML for agents. Then you just run the agents.
Oh, we talked about it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I built it. Yeah, it's finished.
Yeah, you put it in the text. I said, "What are you doing?" And you get a whole list of all these things you were doing. I'm like, okay.
Oh yeah.
I'm doing sales stuff, spreadsheets. So
I can create an agent to. I can build an agent to do all that stuff for you.
Yeah, I am playing around with Studio. I get it at a very discounted rate, and both for my private lab. So I'm paying $50 a month for the full enterprise Studio. That's pennies compared to what the full price one costs, right? And that way I can work in my own lab and not have to do it at the job. So that's fine. You said something, and we got to get to our guest. You said you were building the agents and something. Man, I found another Copilot agent called Iris.
Oh, have I heard about that?
I saw it today. I was doing something with some sales thing, and I was doing something with a VBD, a virtual business deliverable, like when you do these POCs, what the CSAs at Microsoft do.
Yeah.
So one of my certifications for Sentinel was getting ready to expire, and it says you need to go in here, and it came up and it says Copilot Iris. How can I help you redo your accreditation? I'm like, what are they talking about here? And like, it's another Copilot. It's geared for those things. And like, someone told me there are like 40 different Copilots.
At one point there was a little over almost 200. So that's pretty good, actually.
I need to go look at what defines a Copilot from a Microsoft perspective.
Yeah.
It's branded. This one says, it said Iris, Copilot Iris. And then you've seen Copilot Vision that pops up in your browser. That came up.
Oh yeah.
Like, what is this? And then it's all of them. But hey, that's all I've been doing, man. What am I reading now? Unlock serverless Azure functions, because I'm trying to do some workspace unions. So I figured I'd just write a function for it, but I'm doing multiple workspaces across it. Got a little rusty. So I just sort of go back. And then what else am I reading? We talked about that last week. The need for a chief artificial intelligence risk officer, a CARO. Been going back through that, and yeah, I'm reading from iCycle. The urgent need for a chief artificial intelligence risk officer, CAIRO, CAIRO, Charlie Alpha.
Cairo. I like Egypt. Yeah.
Charlie Alpha, Indigo, Romeo, Oscar. Interesting article. I'm gonna reread it again here. But let's get our guest on. We got a returning guest, friend of the show, and it's good to see him, Mr. James Key. How you doing, brother?
Doing great. Thank you for having me. Very excited to be here.
Thank you for coming on. I know you were out doing all the things that whirlwind celebrities do out in the IT world. So I was honored when you actually answered my call. I was like, yeah, I'll do it. Have your people contact my people. I'm like, oh, okay, I can do that. You can do that.
Absolutely.
So welcome back to the show, sir. Once again, for the listeners who may not have seen your pretty face or heard your melodious voice over the past, can you just give everybody an intro of who you are, what you do, and what brought you here today?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is James Key. I'm a principal product manager here at Microsoft, focusing on Security Copilot with our CXC partner team, primarily focused with our managed service providers, so MSSPs, SIs, stuff of that nature. Been working with Security Copilot in the very beginning, before it was an incubation product, going through all of the low points, all the high points, all the excitements, all of the head bashings, all that kind of good stuff that AI brings across the table. But my original role at Microsoft was SharePoint, so I came from a productivity space, and then moved into security and compliance, and then Copilot came about. So been all over the place, working with different industries and organizations and different biz units and so forth inside of Microsoft. So got a nice little track record, I think, from a career perspective, and very happy to be here on the product management side now, being able to influence and innovate our products and bring the best that we can to our customers.
I did not know or either forgot that you were SharePoint.
Oh, yeah.
And Frank has been extremely discharitable to SharePoint and admins from the past, so I apologize for that.
It's all good.
Oh, golly, I did not know that. Well, sir, it's been a minute. For those who don't remember, James has come on the show before in the early days of Security Copilot to talk to it from a product perspective and how partners were looking to try to utilize that when it was an emerging product and solution offering at Microsoft. So I reached out to James. He was gracious enough to come on and say, hey, here's some things I can talk about on the show. We're about 2 weeks out from Microsoft Ignite, which is our premier technical customer-facing event, which will be in San Francisco. San Francisco, right?
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, myself, Frank, and Rod won't be able to be there this year. I'm traveling to New York to do something. I don't know what Frank's doing, and Rod's probably gallivanting, trying to track that thing that's circling the sun through our universe.
I'm watching it.
So what's the goodness? Tell me what's good. We got Security Copilot on our minds, so make it part of our soul. What's going on?
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, right now it's all about agents. It's all about getting from generative AI to agentic AI, getting autonomous capabilities built in, and working with our partners to build out these phenomenal agents. We're filling up our new Microsoft Security Store. So we got a new security store out there that's all about security-focused initiatives and so forth. Right now we have SaaS apps and solutions and agents that are out there. And it's driving a lot of synergy, a lot of excitement, I think, because ultimately these right here are just powering a lot of the things that customers have been asking for, and partners are delivering. Partners truly make more possible, and it's amazing what the community is building around these areas. So it's all about agents right now, man, but it's all about quality agents. Build with intent, build with purpose, build with outcome in mind. Don't just build something just to have it out there and have something flash up on a tag and say, ooh, I put something there. Let's make something that makes things that make an impact.
It is about agents, and you hear not only at Microsoft on internal communication, vibe, but even external. That this, man, maybe I'm just misremembering, but it seemed like when the concept of agents was such a closed conversation, that as though it was being guardrailed or either embargoed, and you had to have the super secret handshake and password to be able to build agents. But now it seems like the external artificial intelligence community and partners sort of broke that box open and started building their own. So a quick definition, if there is any similarities or differentiators between an agent built by Microsoft and an agent built by a Microsoft security partner. And we've had several on that. Let me throw one out. Let's say SRA or Blue Voyant or Tanium. Is there a fundamental difference with the way they approach building agents versus Microsoft is building an agent for Security Copilot?
And honestly, I mean, it's really the same. I mean, anybody can go out there and build agents now. We have a native built-in agent builder in Security Copilot. Yes, it does have some areas that we can improve on. We're going to make those happen during Ignite. But anyone can go out there and do it now. In Security Copilot, through third-party tools, you can even open up Notepad++ and start building out manifest and packaging things and have an agent. But ultimately, I think the true value with our partners is that they're bringing industry knowledge, industry expertise. We have amazing developers inside of Microsoft that create things well beyond my even comprehension of how they do it.
Mhm.
I'm allergic to code to some degree. I'm becoming less allergic to code. I think I got my vaccine, so I'm getting a little bit better at it. But with that said, a lot of times the things that we push out don't always land from an industry perspective the way that they need to, because we lack that from a product and engineering perspective. That's why we rely on partners and customers to come in with incubations and private previews and tell us, how do we make this land successfully? How do we make sure that it lands successfully with industries, whether it's healthcare, over in Europe with GDPR and other types of regulatory requirements and all those things. So I honestly love how partners think about this. And they come up with some extremely creative things to the point that I think it gives Microsoft a little bit of run for their money sometimes. It creates that competitiveness that you want to do better. So I'm all about competition. I think it breeds success. And I bring some partners in sometimes when we start working on agents and our product team starts looking and they're like, wow, this right here is impressive. How'd you do this? Or what'd you do here? Just to sort of see, because again, sometimes we're a little bit narrow-minded with our expertise in our areas and we get very comfortable in doing things the Microsoft way or the old way. And we need some fresh blood sometimes come in to sort of show us that, you know what, with AI, sometimes you got to think like a child a little bit. You got to let that imagination flow, get outside of Pandora's box and sort of see what the possibilities are. It's very, very impressive.
It sounds like Frank was going to ask, or either I hear his dog barking. It's not my dog. I don't have a dog.
That's my little golden doodle, man. Our little
okay.
Oh, yours? Yeah.
Okay.
I'm betting money that I just got an Uber Eats food order delivered to the door.
Yeah, I got to do that myself.
Or the dog. The dog answered the door. Now your food's gone.
I got 2 burgers, man. One for the dog, one for me. Yeah, we got to eat together. It's all good.
Yeah, you spoke very just very easily about, everybody can build an agent and
Everybody can.
so and so, but okay, let's start at the basics here.
Okay.
We did the Security Copilot when it was the new shiny last year or year before. The days run together these days. Give me a one breath explanation to what an agent is as defined by Microsoft.
An agent is a autonomous task capable solution that allows you to be able to perform certain actions that are dictated by its instructions.
Okay.
And when we look at agents, we look at them really around like 3 areas. This agent is very situational based, very issue based. Maybe it's something to do with DLP triaging, or maybe insider risk. Maybe it's something to do with lateral movements. It's very situational and issue based. Or you could have an agent that is more persona based. It's meant to help augment an IT admin when it comes to compliant devices or patch management. Maybe it's one for an IAM, for identity access management, looking at risky users and risky sign-ins. And thirdly, we have agents that are more product specific, ones that are very tailored towards a situation like maybe CrowdStrike, Carbon Black, ServiceNow, Defender for Office 365. Those right there really help us be able to define these sort of like silos and make sure that the agents are really tailored around certain types of scenarios and use cases. But in the end, as Rod's been showing a little bit on there about the agent builder that we have inside of Security Copilot, it's natural language based. You go in there and you start speaking and you tell, I want to create an agent to do this. Your job is this. I want you to report like this. I want you to define things like this. And I don't want you to do this. It builds the instructions for you automatically, bringing in plugins, bringing in tool sets. And from that point, then you can get more sophisticated with it. And you can bring in things like MCP servers. You can bring in APIs and third-party capabilities, Sentinel data lake, and so many other individual areas. So you can start out very easy and simplified and move to very complex. Seeing the screen right here, you have the ability of starting from scratch, uploading a YAML file, and even some samples there, 3 below the little taskbar section that you can easily start moving with very quickly. So when I say that anybody can build an agent, anybody can. Now, where the concern comes in is about building quality agents, learning how to do it efficiently and effectively. Because anyone that's ever worked with Security Copilot knows that those little computing units, they're not the cheapest things in the world. There's some cost behind it. And these agents, they use these SEUs in order to be able to perform their AI functions and activities. So the better that we write things, the better that we instruct, the more beneficial we are from an efficiency perspective of these. Yeah. It's just like when KQL came out for advanced threat hunting. People thought that anybody could do it. And yes, anybody can create a query, but there's also very high quality ones, and there's low quality ones that create, poorer outcomes. Same thing with prompting, same thing with AI, same thing with agents. It's all about quality. And we've done a really good job being able to build out support documentation around this. If you type in Microsoft Learn, Security Copilot, we have an admin and user page with Microsoft Learn about that. But now we've also come up with a developer one. So typing in Microsoft Learn, Security Copilot Developer, it gives you a support documentation page to go through and sort of see what we can do from the art of the possible. And what I love about this is the fact that our documentation is all built around how things are done from an agent building perspective. Perfect. Over here on the left-hand side, you'll see it broken down by how do I plan it? How do I build it? How do I test it? How do I publish it? Just bam, 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 straight through. And we're continually updating things to make sure that people are aware. You get into the reference piece, you're going to see a section about manifest. Maybe you don't know what a manifest is. Maybe you don't know what the codes are and the different dialects. Everything's in there. How do I fix error messages? We're bringing all of that stuff from behind the veil directly to our developers, empowering them to be more successful in creating high quality agents.
See, that's awesome. I hadn't seen that before. Thanks for exposing that. That's awesome. I was just thinking, looking at the security store with all these agents, all these cool agents. The one thing we're missing. A lot of times you go into a store, you see dollar signs in the price tag. We need like an SCU price tag on each one of these. How many SCUs is this going to use?
And that becomes a little difficult sometimes because of the quantity of entities within the customer environment with devices and users and data. Some smaller organizations, it may use less for certain ones, but we are asking our partners to think about that and to do t-shirt sizing in a way that sort of gives you some type of approximation. This is something that has not been released just yet as an agent. And I can say this because as a partner one, it's not NDA under Microsoft, it's going through the publication process, but we have a partner that is creating an SCU estimator agent. And you put a prompt into the estimator, it evaluates based upon the entities and everything that are inside the environment, based upon best practices and efficiency, and it will tell you, if you do this particular prompt, it's going to cost you approximately this amount. That's phenomenal.
Wow. And that will be eye-opening because that idea has not been novel. It has been something that's been requested for a long time, and people have given shots at it and tried, even myself. But, a little bit of frustration is I do the exact same thing and get a different SCU count, and then you get a dub moment. And the dub moment is the back end of what the thing is executing against. You're assuming that it's static. It's not. The environment could be getting larger, smaller, attrition added, and all this stuff. I think a lot of people don't realize how dynamic an enterprise environment is, that we look at it from people hiring, firing. I was working with a client, and between 2 days, they had divested about 1,500 machines out of MDE, and they retired them. And I'm like, well, what happened? No, that unit is gone, or this, whatever else. So the back end is more dynamic than the prompt or the plugin and or the agent. I love to see this agent SCU predictor, whatever it may be. We'll see what it is.
Yeah.
Matter of fact,
SCU estimator is what they're calling it.
Yeah.
SCU estimator. Going through publication right now, should be popping up into the security store here soon. And it's going to be a free agent. They're not charging anybody for anything.
Now, I've seen the SCU estimator before. Rod, you have too, right? I think we should, but it wasn't associated with an agent to be able to go out and be.
No.
It was very manual.
Yeah, this was more about seat count that we had inside of Microsoft and looking at it from like a t-shirt sizing. This is literally taking the prompt, dissecting it, determining how much it's going to cost to do it, and even giving you guidance about how to make it more efficient. That's the most impressive part about this agent. It's not just giving you the result of the SU, it's telling you how to make it better, how to make it more efficient. Oh, yeah.
I wish somebody would build an agent on how to price Sentinel.
We talk about these agents, and I kind of want to know, where do they kick off? Is this something where, like, what is a prompt book, and how does this integrate? How do these kick off just because something's created? Tell me what triggers these agents.
So as of right now, we have two primary triggers. One is manual invoking, and the other one is schedule-based, based upon time intervals. Now, we are looking into other types of avenues based upon events and activities, which will be very beneficial. But as of right now, those are the two, unless you integrate something like a Logic app that then invokes things through that type of mechanism. But natively built in, it's based upon manual invoking and then also looking at it from a time interval perspective.
Maybe broken in time. So basic fancy words for scheduling.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Every 24 hours, every 1 minute, every 6 months, however you want to put it. We just always have to remember that whenever it triggers, it's going to use some SEUs. So how frequently do you want that to go, and where's the benefit of that return on investment come in about that quantity? Because sometimes some things are large amounts of data over short periods of time, or small amounts of data across large periods of time.
So, are you aware of like the SC200 course or the SC200 certification?
Yes, a little bit.
A little bit. So, as a SOC analyst, where do you expect their level of that would take that sort of course? Where do you expect their knowledge of creating agents versus using agents? Obviously, using, but creating. Where do you see that? Is that something you think is important that every single SOC analyst should know? If you're going to hire somebody in that's running your shop there, how much do you care about them knowing to create agents?
I don't think it's necessarily a requirement per se, but it is an additional enhancement to your tool belt, because when you have SOC analysts, and as they mature and as they get experiences, then they're going to have the know-how of how to plan these. They might not know how to develop them yet, but they can put the groundworks together and say that this is what I need, this is how I need it to work, and this is how I need it to act. And then over time, I would definitely, start, pushing SOC analysts and other members, IT admins and so forth, to be able to, start to tinker a little bit with, agent development. It's not as difficult as people make it out to be. It's not something that requires a huge amount of investment going in immediately. You can go in and just start speaking to it, just like you do from a ChatGPT perspective in a browser, and start creating some very simplified things, and then learn about how to tweak it, how to get advanced functionalities and build off of it. And that's what a lot of our partners have been doing across the board, is that they started in that journey of building out some very simple things. And over the course of the last couple of months, they're becoming very advanced. And it's great to see that progression. It's just like with any other technology. Just like when it comes to a SOC analyst. Does a SOC analyst need to know how to do KQL? Not necessarily. I mean, they can use some of the dashboards and some of the other functionalities and be able to go in and look at incidents and stuff. But that threat hunting is extremely valuable from a tool set, and it helps to expand on your capabilities. I think the developer piece will do the exact same thing when it comes to other roles and personas across organizations. And sometimes the agent building piece may actually be a shortcut to enhancing policies, enhancing workflows, because I don't have to go buy software. I don't have to go out and buy this license or this add-on or something. I can start building something that actually is tailored to exactly what I need it to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge.
Do you see the path more like, okay, start building in prompt books and then bring in agents from there and see what you can migrate over to an agent versus what should be with inside prompt books, or just one prompt? How do you see that integration with prompt books going?
No, absolutely. So that ability to be able to trigger prompt books and have that sort of actionable piece being bringing in data and being able to send data out, I think is important. The multi-orchestration piece doesn't really exist right now from an agent perspective, but it's coming. And the ability to be able to invoke things within it isn't really there either. We leverage logic apps and other forms of APIs to perform those activities. And the reason behind that is that there's a lot of fear around AI that when you start giving it the ability to make change, then it's going to go rampant and do things you don't want it to do. You're going to have a Skynet situation, and we don't want to do that. So we're building up guardrails, we're building up identity capabilities around these agents to be able to guard against that and to treat it like a person in a way. And it's not meant to replace somebody. I know AI is this fear factor of replacing jobs. It's not. It's more about augmenting them. Being able to take SOC analysts and say, instead of you spending 3 hours a day looking through DLP triaging alerts and, 2 hours across all of these level 1 and level 2 severity type situations of incidences, let's let an agent do that. AI is phenomenal when it comes to information and knowledge. It's not the best when it comes to experience and wisdom, because that requires critical thinking. It's not there yet. We're getting there, but it's not. That's where the people come into play. So I like to say that, agents are great for information, knowledge, and handling those type of things. That releases the person to be able to focus more on the critical thinking areas and really bring their wisdom and expertise to the situation. And then over time, we can influence the agents to become smarter and better. We're even releasing this concept, and you can see in their technical documentation what we call memories, of being able to infuse the agents with this sort of conscious historical information that it can feed off of, and then be able to bring that back in the future when it needs to improve its overall service and capabilities.
With that being said, it seems like we're creating a very low entry level in a good way for those who want to be exposed to this prevailing and emerging technology. You would think that AI is both very new at the same time, very mature, and reality is, I think, perception, right? Let me ask you a question about this. This goes back to the partner aspect. I took a note here. When everybody's building these agents, you'll be able to do it. And, I'm looking at, and maybe you're not able to answer this question, but I figure if anybody can answer this question, how are partners who are developing this protecting if this considered IP?
So one of the great things about the Microsoft Security Store, and this is why it's I think an imperative area for our partners to look at from a monetization perspective, is that when you bring those agents and that type of content into the security store, it's guarded behind the gate. And then we deploy out the pieces that are needed into the environment in order to be able to perform the activities of the agent. But you don't have access to the IP and the code pieces behind it. Now, if I directly upload something into the environment, absolutely, anybody can see that. And that's where you have to worry about other vendors, other partners, other people, tinkering around and looking at, your secret sauce. But as long as it's behind the security store, we're sort of gate locking and keeping that. So as a benefit to the partner immediately.
On that question, one more, and I think Rod wanted to ask a question about this. This is about I've seen the security store, been part of the announcements. I still keep in contact with my people over at GPS, to understand it. So what you're saying, that if someone has an agent offering in the security store, it is basically a SaaS application where I'm running the agent as a software compute download, or am I actually getting the guts of the agent in some form or fashion deployed in my environment?
You're deploying it out to the environment, but the ability to be able to edit it, the ability to be able to see behind the walls is not there. Okay. It's like me deploying out a app from Outlook Store into people's Outlooks. I don't have the ability of looking behind the code and everything because it's being deployed out from that store. So that's one of the biggest benefits of these, the security store, is the fact that that IP and everything is sort of gate kept behind, and you don't have to worry about people looking at your secret sauce anymore.
Okay. I have some questions down that line, but I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. I want to ask you offline about it, because I don't want to give anybody to get their gears turning in their head, listen to our show, and like, well, no, Security Insight Show gave us that idea to go do this thing. But that's interesting, because it seems very similar to the way that the marketplace is when partners develop solutions and they send it out through the partner marketplace or the Azure marketplace. You can just buy it. And whatever protection mechanisms there, obviously you could simulate it or duplicate it in the thing. It makes sense.
I'll give you a little bit of insight here, because I know you're all about insight in this podcast. No pun intended. When you deploy out and publish a Security Copilot agent, you're doing it through the partner center. And when you create the offering, ironically, the offer type that you select is software as a service. We're piggybacking off of all that back-end components in order to be able to deploy it. We're just saying, instead of going to the Azure marketplace, we check a little box that says Security Copilot agent. We put new webhooks into it, a new landing page that sends it over here to the security store. But the back-end mechanism and everything is all the same. That's how it seems like it's a software as a service solution, like a SaaS, but it's really not.
Oh, okay. Okay. I can actually visualize what you're talking about. You haven't having exposure to the marketplace and seeing that. Okay. And being able to do it. So now is how much we're in this phase of everybody's creating an agent and trying to create their own version of the very specific new shiny. How much of functional agent persona do you see duplicated? I mean, I'll give you an example. I was on a webinar and it was actually very, very good. They have using agents, using the conditional access agent to streamline your conditional access policies. It was very well laid out the way it goes about it. So how how much of this is people copying other people's idea? How many agents do you see doing the same thing?
There's no duplication.
No duplication.
Because in the end, the security store is built on the premise of quality. Quality, 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 not quantity.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you publish something to the security store, it goes through Partner Center. It goes through multiple validation stages. Not only Microsoft validating it, but also the partner revalidating it.
Mm-hmm.
And we have branding guidance as far as what can be in the agent name.
Mm-hmm.
We have description guidance. We have guidance about how you structure the manifest. And we also start looking into, is this actually a beneficial use case? Or is this something that is just a prompt book wrapped up into an agent? Or is this just a simple API call that could be easily done without an agent? The validation checks, for better or worse, have been the bane of my existence the last 2 months, because they're in place for a reason and they do their job, but they're very, very picky. They're very, very specific. And if something's off, it gets kicked out and it fails validation. It will not be published. And then we go back to the partner and say, hey, you need to fix this. You need to do this. We need to change this. We need to make this more efficient. And it can even get down to the point of where the description is not descriptive enough to give the customer enough insight about what they're actually getting.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very validated across the entire board. And that's all about quality. I love our other marketplaces. I love our other stores. But this store is being built with quality in mind. It's not going to be a redundancy of consulting offerings that we have over in AppSource. It's not going to be just somebody throwing something up into a Azure marketplace to tell their CEO, hey, we have something up there. Great job. Let's make a press release about it. No, It's all about quality. It's all about building with intent, building with purpose, and building with outcomes in mind. And you look at every single one of these, they're all unique. They're all different. They all provide value, and they're diverse across our entire ecosystem. Sentinel, Defender, looking at things around Intra and Intune and Purview. You don't see, just a breadth of just one single thing. You can go up there to where it says, the types and start looking at the different filters and start picking them. You're going to see things for every single thing on that list.
Mm-hmm.
And we're continuing to focus that and tell partners, hey, we're starting to see an oversaturation of X, Y, and Z. Let's start looking at some other areas. Let's start to expand our portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking to see that, hey, Microsoft is starting to build this out also. Let's not conflict. Let's not have a conflict of interest, because in the end, the Microsoft one probably will win out because of the Microsoft brand. We want to make sure that we get good visibility across the board. And we're working on incentivizing our partners with this by providing also some metrics around how things are interacting with the store. How many visitors are coming? How many downloads are happening? All this kind of stuff, it shows value into people that are coming to the store.
I see tremendous amount of potential to be able to affect the legitimacy and amount of effort. Things like I can put a shelf life on your agent. Like if you haven't updated in 4 months, then you age out. You're out. You're
Absolutely.
done. Yeah. I'm gonna ask this question, and don't answer it if you can't answer it. And if it's something that needs to be said at Ignite, but I got to answer it because this is the entrepreneur, the salesperson that go out and hustle for the dollar, Edward. How partners making money?
So as of right now, the partners that are pricing them, some of them are doing for free.
Okay.
You can also do a 1-month free trial and then go into a monetization model. The two monetization models that exist at this time is a one-time purchase or a monthly subscription model.
Okay.
The monthly subscription model is that recurring cost that really encourages the partner to continue to update, to continue to increase the version, add more to it, because you want to keep them interested. We have some partners that are going in the direction of creating a free one and then creating a premium one. Give you a little bit, let you see what the Microsoft capabilities are within the agent, and then create a premium one that expands on their IP. So for instance, Rod, if you want to go up, or whoever's driving, and go back to the search and type in Core, C-O-R-E, you're going to see an agent that comes up. And this is their free version of that agent. Let's see, there it is. Posture Advisor Agent Core. You also see an Identity Workload ID Agent Core. These are free ones. They are also working on premium ones that will expand on the functionality and bring that freemium type model to the equation. If you like what you get, great. go ahead and update, get the new version, get the premium one, and get the more functionality, because you already like what you're getting for free. But if it expands on it, then great. So we're looking at ways of being able to do that, and we're also looking at ways for us to be able to ultimately expand on the monetization models and give other types. One that I'm pushing for is a per run click. So every time that you run the agent, you get charged. That way that you're not paying a monthly thing or a one-time thing, you're paying technically for a usage. It's like consumption-based.
When you need it.
Yeah. Absolutely. And again, with these right here, great ways for us to be able to, advocate for new functionalities and capabilities across the board and really expand on our entire ecosystem. Because in the end, that's why you choose Microsoft, is the ecosystem, not individual products. And if we have agents that are spanning across that ecosystem, it just creates tremendous value.
Yeah. Are you going to be at tonight, James?
I'm sorry?
Will you be at Ignite?
Unfortunately, I did not get the golden ticket for Ignite this year. I got to go to Chicago last year, but we're trying to diversify our CXC partner team and let others have some fun. So my good buddy and colleague, Nick, from our Purview side will be there representing our CXC partner team. So, yeah.
Nick Anderson?
No.
What's
his
I can't even remember his last name. I don't do last names a lot of times.
Yeah. You said Nick,
it starts with a C. It starts with a C at the end.
I do profile pictures. That's how I know people.
Yeah.
Caramano.
Yes. There you go. Caramano.
Yeah.
But he'll be there. He'll be representing the Purview side, data security. Data security is going to be huge at Microsoft Ignite this year, just because that's the landscape that people are trying to get after. I mean, they want to compromise identities, they want to compromise devices, but in the end, they want the data. And that's what we got to start, really driving towards, which I'm extremely happy that our partners are moving in that direction. It's exciting because you have partners that are very much Defender and Sentinel centric. That's really what security has always been. And for our, managed services. But now they're starting to put their toes in the water a little bit with data security and Purview. And they're coming up with some really interesting use cases of bringing that insider risk information, bringing over the data that you're having access to in those Purview spaces, and enriching the security incident information also with it.
Will there be a partner designation showing your proficiency in doing this stuff, like a agent security designation?
Honestly, I haven't really followed exactly all the sessions that are being presented at there, but I know that across Security Copilot in general, we have about 15 or 16 sessions around Security Copilot, which is exciting. It's a nice breadth across the board. We're going to have Dill up there, and Vasu, and Charlie Bell, and so many others that are going to be presenting on these different areas around securing AI, around data security with AI, how Security Copilot is taking effect. And in general, we're looking at an overarching story. One is with Security Copilot, with Security Store, Sentinel Data Lake, and Sentinel Graph. Those four things are going to be building the nexus of this new ecosystem around agentic AI. Because Security Copilot is going to be the one that's piloting everything, that's pulling in everything, that's giving you that user interface. The store, that's going to be all monetization. That's going to be making our partners very happy. It's going to give them the incentive to move forward because of that monetization and their ability to be able to increase their brand. The Sentinel Data Lake is going to be the massive lake of data that's being brought in. And if we bring things in to a more centralized, more structured approach, then Copilot doesn't have to decipher things and become very complicated about picking out different rows and columns in Sentinel and workspaces and Defender and XYZ. If it's one single space, it makes it so much efficient and ultimately cheaper. And then you have your Sentinel Graph being able to just leverage the multitude of developer capabilities and coding capabilities of being able to pull that information in and use it in so many different ways. So that overarching story is going to be huge.
I am drinking the Kool-Aid on Sentinel Graph. I'll admit it. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid on it. And maybe it's because the whole developer aspect of it, of being able to see the way you interacted and the way it's being manifested or shown. I'm like, this is cool. It looks like some of the investigative stuff that was sort of built into Sentinel early on with you and all that, but this is different, And and maybe it's just because my knowledge level on the way I was interacting with previous graphs was so low, but now it's like, man, this is cool. Let me ask you another hypothetical question.
Okay.
Based on how Ignite goes, and everybody with the new agents, you got agent clowns and agent this, and everybody's out here doing this, and they give them agent giveaways. And if there's enough traction, will this reboot and put more life into Microsoft Inspire? Because I have seen it like, how do we get the partner conference back to the way because I came from the partner side, you know that, and I love the partner side, all the innovation and the crazy ideas. Just me personally, seems like it fell off a little bit. I'm wondering if this new ability to have this thing is good enough to either new blood into the Inspire conference, where everybody's there shaking hand, pressing flesh, giving away stuff, the nice parties, all the good things. And number two, do you see an agent con on the horizon? Just agent con, that's all it is.
The possibilities are endless. I think this is going to be a huge catalyst for build, a huge catalyst for MVP Summit, because a lot of our MVPs are coming from partners.
Yep.
And then also, I think Inspire has an opportunity here, because again, here's a little tidbit. I'm going to go into the details. I don't want to get my hand slapped any more than I already have every single day, it seems like, for speaking things that I want to speak. I have a hard time keeping my mouth shut sometimes, and I do apologize. What you see in Security Copilot right now with the offerings for SaaS and for the agents, it's not the only thing that's going to be there. There's more coming. There's more types of content. There's more types of artifacts and things that are going to be usable for our partners to be able to monetize on. So this is just the tip of the iceberg. You're going to see a lot of great things happening at night around the security store and about new things, because the security store is our first security-focused storefront that is dedicated to quality security assets. And I say assets broadly because it's not just SaaS, it's not just agents. There's more to come.
I can believe you. I hear it in your voice, and I've heard some people from the GPS side and that I've talked to, and they're like, there's a lot of energy, because it seemed like it sort of took a back door for a little while, because partners sort of figured out they couldn't figure out where to innovate. It was hard to make money off Security Copilot. They had already figured out how to finally make money off Sentinel and MDR. And when this came along, the biggest thing partners had to go figure out, either by hire or innovation or just smart people, like, okay, it's here. This is a thing. It always comes down, how am I going to make revenue off this? Because this artificial intelligence and then the AI or authentic agentic is going through. They are now struggling again. We need smart people to know how to monetize this, right? Because we're putting a lot of man hours and building this stuff out, and then they're also racing against two other entities. They're racing against the customers themselves, who are very, very much creative.
Oh, very much.
And the third one that everybody, and I had to do a customer presentation. The customer was second guessing me and checking me with AI as I was speaking.
Yep.
It's like,
absolutely.
Okay. I told the customer, I said, you can't believe AI. It just wants to please you. I don't want to please you. that sort of broke the ice a little bit. They're like, okay. But I see that the partner side, I'm hearing some very good things from some security partners I've known for years, and they go, this is probably one of the more straightforward ways of being able to differentiate. The costing model hasn't been fleshed out. I heard what you said, runtime usage and this and that, and get a free and get a premium. I don't think that maturity is there yet. I think some of the partners are trying to see what somebody else is doing first before they charge on it. And it may be a loss leader. It may be a loss leader to get the MSSP business. So if you come on with my MSSP, if I onboard you as my MSSP, you get all this agent goodness for free by virtue of your contract.
So when you think about Security Copilot with our partners, we bundle things into threes always at Microsoft. It's always three, everything. So with the partners, we want them to be able to sell Security Copilot. That's their consulting services. That's their bread and butter. That's getting in with, discovery, assessments, proof of concept, proof of value. It's been difficult because ultimately it's costly, and you got to pony up to be able to, use it. Wait till Ignite. We'll see some things. We're going to help out in some adoption blockers around Security Copilot. That's going to really revolutionize how partners do things. But you had to sell, and we've been doing pretty good with that. It's not the best in the world. There are some struggles because you said the cost, and the ability of being able to try it out and all that kind of stuff. But we're making great progress in those areas. The second one has been build. That's the second bucket. We're nailing build right now with the built-in design builder, with the security store. Build is solid. And the third one that you referenced to is around how do they use it? How do they leverage it as a managed service provider? How do they bring multi-tenancy into the mix? So when you think about how a partner uses it and the areas that are causing struggle, and you think about the areas of how they use it and the areas of struggle, we're working towards those. We're going to make some great announcemements around ways of being able to help partners move in different directions and to be able to truly realize what, for all intents and purposes, I think a lot of us think should have been there in the very beginning. But it's taken time to get there because of all the things that had to be put in place to make it work. You're seeing the innovation that's happening right now with the Microsoft Defender portal. We had Defender XDR there. We're bringing Sentinel into the mix. We're bringing these other capabilities in there as that centralized hub. And Copilot already exists there. So it's going to become that centralized component for our partners to be able to look and to scale rapidly as we continue moving forward. So Ignite is going to be a game changer, and it's going to set the tone for the vision of security from an AI perspective going into 2026. And I know a lot of people say that all the time. This year is that year. You're going to see phenomenal things come out of Ignite. It's not something you want to miss.
I'm a big baseball guy.
Yep.
So to those who are skeptics about what James is saying, I'll give you this. If Microsoft comes out Ignite and they got 10 items that they're saying this is going to change the world, and they only get 3, that's fine. Because if I'm playing Major League Baseball, if I can hit 300 for my career, I'm going to the Hall of Fame. That's 3 hits out of every 10 at bats. And I think sometimes the shareholders, they want you to hit a home run at every time. That's not how the world works.
Right.
You need those who will come to the plate and play small ball, and then you're probably going to have some of the bigger companies that are going to hit home runs. But if you're going to win games, Dodgers, you got to play small ball a little bit. They use that dugout. They use their relievers. They do all these things, and you got to be able to strike out a little bit, right? And unfortunately, when you incorporate strikeout, means your stock price go down. Well, if you've been watching the market, everybody's taking a beating today, beating, right? So I'm super. I'm about to throw me in a night watch party because I can't go. So maybe we do some good old fashioned night day drinking.
Let's do it, man. Get some karaoke going on and everything. Get the barbecue out, tailgate it. It'll be good. I'll say this right here. Two of the things that Microsoft has really started to instill in leadership, and I hear this from Mike Adams, I hear this from Charlie Bell, I hear it from all up. Be bold. That's the motto for this year and going forward is be bold. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to fail. One of the things I saw on a slide that I really liked was said, fail often. Because in the end, you're actually sticking yourself out there to try things. And if you look across human history, some of the most amazing accomplishments came from failures. If it wasn't for a failure, we wouldn't have penicillin.
Well, no, absolutely. Nobody wants to think about failures. All the achievements. One of my good mentors, Joanne, shout out to Miss Pate. Hope you enjoy your retirement. She told me there's no such thing as failure, Edward. Told me this years ago, unless you refuse to try again or you don't get another chance. And that's why I took my approach to certification. I've said this on the show many times. I've never failed a certification. I just didn't pass that time.
Well, I mean, when you think about failure, you have to think about this. This is what I try to my son. I try to instill in him as much wisdom as I can. He's only 12. He's probably taking in like 25% of it, but hopefully it's somewhere back there in the back of his head that pops up occasionally. But whenever you fail, it's not starting over. You've learned so much through the entire process up to the point of failure that you're springboarding yourself to success in the next iteration. And you learn so much about yourself, and you learn so much about what needs to be done through failure. I know failure gets a negative context a lot of times, but I mean, there's positiveness to it too also. You just got to look at it from the right angle.
Yeah. I did a joke to my son. He might have been around that age, your son, years ago. My kid's grown. And this came up because he had this old teacher that had the philosophy. It's like, Dad, blah, 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 blah. And the term failure came up. I think I looked at him. I said, son, If I had given up on a single failure, you wouldn't have a brother.
You know what? I
2
want to.
years later, he came back.
Yeah, yeah.
He turned 14.
Yep.
And he came and just punched me in the side.
I'll
he
tell you a
got
little
it.
bit on the personal side here, man. When I was born, I had 2 sisters, 25 and 26. My dad wanted a boy bad. He didn't let failure stop him.
There you go. You know,
It
that
took
was-
26 years, but James came out eventually.
there you go. Man, this has been.
You're calling your sisters they were failures. Is that what you're saying?
No, they were just trials along the way.
Okay.
Perfecting the agents. You got to get the agents right.
There you go. You know.
Man, this has been excellent. I think I would ask you of a favor.
Okay.
I would ask you to come back and do a post-ignite follow-up to sit here and say what landed, what didn't land. This is what you said. This is what we saw.
I would love that.
Well, we have a post-ignite show. I mean, going over what was announced at Ignite.
That'd be phenomenal.
Yeah.
A post-ignite show to be able to do it.
Yeah,
Man,
I don't know if you can read
wanna-
too much into these things, but there's a lot of sessions out here.
That's
on
a
It's
lot.
a lot of good stuff, man. So much. And this is one thing I would ask also. I know that a lot of times y'all like doing themed months, you know, around certain topics and stuff.
Mhm.
I would like to see if y'all would be interested in having some partners come on and talk about their agents and how they're revolutionizing how things are happening. Because we have amazing partners out there doing so much cool stuff. And
we had Performanta on, was it this past year or year before? And they were doing stuff.
Remember, we did a whole month where we had partners come on, and James, you were the keynote. You led off that session. We had a whole month where partners had to come on and talk about their security copilot. Blue Voyant was on, Performanta was on. Matter of fact, you did all the intros to the partners. That's how they came on, because we dropped your name and they said, yeah, you know, James will come on. I think we do that. I think a themed show. We'd like to help build out, and I know it's going to be hard because you don't want to show favoritism, but we like to land upon you about which partners we should have, because our format has changed. We used to do 4 shows a month, maybe 5. We're down to 2 a month, maybe 3. But for this, we can possibly go back to every week, because it's going to be a plethora of those. But we need a little bit of a cribble.
Right?
Do you guys know where that came from? Cribble was that thing that when you go mine and you shift, it's a cribble.
Yep.
We need to be able to shift through what partners, because once Frank and Rod and I put out the invite and you put out the invite, we're going to get inundated.
Oh yeah.
So we need to let's let the Ignite happen. And generally our partner month is April, and then we moved it to May because March is Women in Cyber Month. But we can definitely do that. Now, the only drawback of this is we get ready to go on a holiday routine here in a minute. So,
I don't expect anything in December or anything in January, because December is my cool down time with the family, and January is all about airlift with our partners.
Yeah, we got airlift.
So let's look at February as the earliest.
Well, I think we'll start building this out, start getting invitations out.
Yep.
Start putting out a little bit of stuff like, if you want to come on the show, you know, we'll submit. We'll take a list. We'll send it out. Send us a bio about you. Tell me why even if you're a Ignite or not, what your agent is. And I don't think we need to necessarily have a theme month to be able to get the guest on, but I do think we need a theme month to really say, okay, by April of next year, we should have the front runners will have pulling themselves away from the pack.
Definitely.
And then that way we can go look at the security store, who's killing it, who's innovating. How many new companies started up by virtue of this particular philosophy of just building that? I can imagine a company just coming into existence solely on agents.
Yep.
And
Rod, can you go over to the security store real quick?
Yep.
I want to show you who the front runner is and who the partners need to try to beat. We're going to put a little throw down here. Type in glue, Gule for Glucanja.
And
they got 10.
Oh, wow.
Out of 35. 10 out of our 35 that are out right now are through them, and they're all over the place. Intro,
And it's so crazy.
Defender,
I know that name.
Glue Conjure, man, they are so innovative. It's amazing.
Yep.
And the second one that we have is AdaQuest, ADA Quest. They have, I believe, 4 that are out there.
Oh, they know me. Drop my name.
Yeah.
Me and Jeff Aces used to work with AdaQuest and their CEO. Oh, I know all those guys very well.
How do you spell their name?
ADA Quest, AdaQuest. They are number 2.
Look at that.
With 4.
AdaQuest, if you were listening, you owe Ed one. Call me. I pull your bacon out the fire too many times.
Like I said, it's not all about quantity. We have some partners out there that have, limited numbers that they have out right now that are absolutely phenomenal rock star wins. So we'll get a good little breath across the board and make it a global event. Pick partners from all around the world.
We can check them out on LinkedIn. Who's AdaQuest? Oh, there you go.
AdaQuest's been around a while. They were one of my first pin partners that I've done a lot of work with them on from the EMS days, a long time ago. And I actually have a personal relationship with those guys, so maybe it's not fair, but they're very, 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 very good. You know who Jeff Aces is, don't you, James?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so me and Jeff, that was our account. That was our partner. So I need to call Jeff. Shout out to you, Jeff. Call me. Well, sir, thank you so much. You've been more than generous with your time. It's 6:11. We will hold you to post-Ignite debrief.
Yep.
We'll make the show go a little bit longer, so we make sure that we cover as much as you want to cover. There'll be no green room. We're going to go right into the topic. Here are the hits. Here are the misses. Here's who you should watch out for. Here's someone that fell off the stage. Whatever it may be. Man, this is the year I want to go and I can't go.
Here's our SCU giveaway program.
Yeah, SCU. Yeah, we give away some SCU. I wish you could give away SCUs. You guys should start selling SCU gift cards, Microsoft SCU gift cards, right?
That might be interesting, but I don't know, man. That might hit the black market, and no telling what's going to happen after that.
In the security store.
We sort of do it anyway with ACO and all this other stuff and credits, but you could.
True.
Yeah, we just used Frank's American Express Black Card. I remember they got ran up because he decided to turn on. What did you turn on, Frank? Watch list,
IoT Defender or whatever.
Threat intelligence. You got like a $50,000.
No. It was IoT Defender for IoT. For on-prem version.
I'm gonna say one thing, and this is going to be a little teaser for people to come back to the next one. Okay, I'm not going to show it today because I want them to come back. It's not about Ignite, about me personally, but because I saw Rod here with the Alien Invader for Halloween, my family went as alien abduction theme. My wife was a UFO, lights and everything.
Yeah.
My son had an alien strapped to his back like he was being abducted. Guess what James was? What is the most infamous thing when you think about alien abductions from a comical standpoint?
Getting probed.
A probe, yeah.
I was a cow.
Oh my gosh.
Beamed up. Big old inflatable cow. So if you want incentive to come back for the next session, you're going to see James in a cow outfit.
Oh, that would be great.
And to our friends at Chick-fil-A, don't sue us.
You know what? This is the funniest thing. Whenever my wife wasn't beside me, they said I was a Chick-fil-A cow every time. But as soon as she got she got beside me, they're like, "Oh, alien abduction. That makes sense now." I was like, so I had to keep track of my wife. Like, keep up. I mean, I'm a Chick-fil-A cow without you.
You have to be a certain age to get it. You get it. If you walk into a show with a bunch of old heads like us, we're gonna immediately go, "I get it. It's so funny." Well, sir, you have a great rest of your evening. Thank you so much for taking time out. To everyone, to all our listeners and everything, this is the resurgence of the Security Insight Podcast. This has been a great show that we're doing. Catch us in 2 weeks. Please register for the virtual Microsoft Ignite show. Be able to get your notes, have questions. Check us across all of our social media and digital outlets. The show will be published shortly. And until then, everyone, have a good night.
Thank you.
Good. Great show, guys.